Hey, what's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Cans Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I'm here today, man, on a Tuesday, man. We got some games to talk about. I'm going to go over the game from last night, the Rams and the Vikings. That disaster of a game for the Vikings, man. But real quick, make sure, hey, it's a bunch of y'all in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Give me the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube Cans Pats Talk, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. I appreciate it. And also drop a comment in the comment box if you got any questions while during the stream. But first off, man, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We got some Patriots news to get into, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the game for last night, man. Real quick, the Vikings and the Rams. I thought that game was going to be like a high-scoring game. I thought it was going to be like just Justin Jefferson going off, Puka and Cup going off. I thought because you remember earlier in the season, like I'm talking about, the Rams gave the Vikings one of their few losses this year. And that was a high-scoring game on Thursday Night Football. But, man, Sean McVay is a genius of an offensive coach. Man, I think their defensive coach is pretty good. I can't think of his name right. Their defensive coach is pretty good. That Rams defense was all over Sam Darnold last night. And the proof has been out there on Darnold. We all thought Sam Darnold was just going to be this, like he was going to carry the Vikings, I guess, to Super Bowl. It was a good story. I give it to him. It was a real good story to start off. But the past couple weeks, Sam Darnold has turned back into Sam Darnold, the Sam Darnold we know from the New York Jets, the Sam Darnold we knew from the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold turned back into them real quick. Sam Darnold fooled us all, man. I think Sam Darnold was a pumpkin. I think he was a pumpkin. The Minnesota, I think Sam Darnold was a pumpkin. He fooled us all. We all thought it's going to be this crazy story that's probably going. I mean, I didn't see a lot of people them get to the Super Bowl, but they did have the potential to get the number one seed. The Vikings had the potential to get number one seed. I think a lot of people thought, like, dang, they 13-2 or 14-2, and they got double-digit wins, and they playing real good. Sam Darnold balling, but man, the proof is out there. Once you put pressure on Sam Darnold, man, Jared Verse and Brian Young and Jalen Fitt, they was getting after him, man. That round, and credit to that Rams defense, they played a lot of man coverage, and they was pressuring the heck out of Sam Darnold, and he looked like Sam Darnold. I mean, look at what the Detroit Lions did a couple weeks last week. That game was for the division and for they had number one seed in the NFC or whatnot. And look what happened. They got it. They got after him. Aaron Glenn in that defense, and I'm talking about a defense full of backups. They got after Sam Darnold in that game last week or whatnot, and they put the blueprint had been out for Sam Darnold. But Detroit Lions just reminded everybody what you could do to Sam Darnold and whatnot. It was bad. It was a bad performance. He threw a pick. He could have had a couple more picks, a couple more drop. He never really got settled. He never really got comfortable in that pocket. Never got comfortable. Justin Jefferson, he did okay last night. No touchdown. Jordan Addison did a little bit. Hawkinson had a touchdown, but other than that, and the Vikings really didn't get going until like mainly garbage time when Minnesota got up when the Rams got up with like 20-something to 3 or something like that. That's when they really got going. I do think that turnover. The ball, I think they could have called intentional grounding, but they didn't call that on Matt Stafford or whatnot. I do think they should have kept the call on the field as a fumble. I saw Puka was near, so that's why that was the reason why they didn't call intentional ground and whatnot. But I think that play turned the game. That play turned the game for for the Minnesota Vikings last night. That play turned the game because after that, it seemed like everything just went downhill. It went downhill from there. So I mean, hats off to the Detroit. I mean, not Detroit, but the LA Rams last night. A lot of people not talking about it. A lot of people want to say what the Vikings didn't do well, but what? How about what the Rams did do well? The offensive and defensive game plan from the LA Rams last night, coming out, putting pressure on Sam Darnold, whatnot. Jared Verse getting to him, returning returning the strip sack for a touchdown. After that, game over. I knew game was over right then. I mean, Byron, the Rams have drafted really good on defense the past couple of years. They've got some young defenders, and I'm gonna get into this Eagles game later on this week. When I do a couple more on streams or whatnot, but I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles. The LA Rams and the Eagles, I can't wait to see that game on Sunday. Jamar, what's going on with you? I knew Sam Darnold was just a product of Kevin O'Connell's system. Right, right. Hey, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, so hit that hit the thumbs up. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Give me that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got your notification turned on, man. Share the content. Please give me that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Also, Cash App is down at the bottom if you like to Cash App the show or whatnot. If you want to Cash App or whatnot, I really appreciate. You don't have to. Money sign Kendall Whitley. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. It's down on the left. IG down there, and my Twitter is also up there, man. Make sure you're subscribed, man. But Sam Darnold, he turned back into Sam Darnold last night. I was really shocked. I was shocked for the most part because I thought they was going to get revenge. They was going to make amends of what happened earlier this year, but boy, was I wrong. I think Sam Darnold potentially lost a lot of money last night. I think he did. Because I think it was a rumor that he could probably get like, I think 50 million a year, something like that. No, but there's no way. Nobody's giving him that now. He's not getting nowhere near that right now. It probably go down like 40, something like that. I don't know if I give him that. I've seen it. We know what Sam Darnold is. It was a fun, nice little story. It was a nice story. And he's a quarterback that has to play on schedule, play with the lead, the running game going, the offensive line block. A lot of things got to be right for him. Like those players that he won't make it them better. I felt like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, running back, Hawkinson, the weapons were making Darnold. I don't think Darnold was making them weapons. He was not elevating those guys. They were elevating him. That's what I really feel. So I think the Vikings, and I think there was rumors coming out a couple weeks ago about they could trade J.J. McCarthy and put their future in the hands of Sam Darnold. That would have been a mistake because you see what Sam Darnold is. We knew what he was. He was just in the right situation in Minnesota. And I'm not going to say their schedule was a cupcake because they played some good teams and they won those games. But when it really mattered most, when the game was on the line, when the division was on the line, Sam Darnold could not come through for them. He was holding the ball forever last night. A lot of those sacks, I mean, the offensive line didn't play well, but a lot of those sacks could have been avoided. A lot of those sacks could have been avoided from Sam Darnold last night. He put the team in a bad position multiple times. Multiple times he did that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happened going forward with Sam Darnold. And do they re-sign him? Do they let him walk? Do they tag him? What they're going to do? Because I think they do got J.J. McCarthy come back next year, assuming he clears the medicals, that he gets back healthy. I like what I've seen for him in the preseason, and they clearly like what they've seen from him. They drafted him, in the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Vikings do going forward at the position. The Rams, I love that defensive front, Matthew Stafford. I knew from the snap of the ball, from the opening kickoff, when they came on that first drive, I said, "Oh boy, Matthew Stafford's hot." And Stafford, one of those guys, when he gets hot, he normally stays that when he's on, he's on. Like he can get hot quick, he can get streaky, and that's what Stafford was on last night. Man, played real good, couple touchdowns. Like I think the Rams, they got something. And they got that Super Bowl, that playoff pedigree. Keep in mind, they won a Super Bowl a few years ago when they beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They done been there, done that. McVay is a hell of a coach. I think he's one of the greatest coaches in the league right now. You got him, you got Andy Reid. I like Tomlin. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league right now. Dan Campbell, I can go on and on. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league right now. Got one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, Matthew Stafford, who has that Super Bowl pedigree, has the experience, the playoff experience. He got a Super Bowl ring. McVay don't want a ring. They can go on a run here. They can go into Philly and cause problems. They have the experience. Unlike Philly that went there a couple years ago, didn't win it. The Rams went there, beat and played Cincinnati and beat them. So the Rams can go to New Orleans. They can win a Super Bowl. I think this Rams team right now can win Super Bowl this year. Where's their weakness? They can run the ball when Kyron Williams is there. Offensive line is solid. They probably could use some depth there. Defensive line is good. They got the receivers. I think they secondary can use some help in the future. But hell, if you got a good pass rush, that's going to eliminate how good your secondary is or ain't. It's going to eliminate that because it's going to help those guys out. And they can get to the quarterback without even blitzing. Last night, they weren't blitzing a lot. They were just rushing for and getting home. They were just rushing for and getting home for the most part. So I think the Rams definitely, I think they can go on a run. I think they can go in the field. I'm not gonna say they're gonna beat Philly, but I think they can go into Philly and cause some problems. I think the Rams can go into Philadelphia Sunday or Saturday, whenever they play. I think Sunday. They can go into the link and cause some problems. Not gonna say they'll win the game, but I do think the Rams can cause some problems. I really believe that they can do that. Rams can beat they can beat them. Not gonna pick them to do it, but I think they can because you look at the Eagles game against the Packers. The Eagles offense didn't do much. They only scored a couple. They didn't really do much. I think it was more so what Green Bay didn't do. Jordan Love playing bad, offensive line playing bad, couldn't really run the ball consistently. Receivers getting hurt. I think there was more of what Philly did. More of what the Packers didn't do than what Philly did do. Because Green Bay defense played pretty good on Philly. They played pretty damn good. But it seemed like once again from the opening kickoff, when I think Keyshawn Nixon, when he fumbled, that was the end of it right there. It's like everything just went down here for that. Jordan Love could never get going. There was pressure on. He threw a couple of interceptions. He was taking chance. Like it felt like everything was rushed. It was for like they just weren't ready. They didn't get out to a good start, and it started from the opening kickoff. It started from the opening kickoff. So I think Rams in the field. I cannot wait for that game. You got Baltimore to Buffalo, Chiefs, Texans, Detroit, and Washington. Like I cannot wait. It's right here is probably the best weekend right here. This is probably gonna be the best weekend right here. Can't wait for these games to start this coming weekend. Cannot wait. Definitely gonna be interesting. Most definitely. What y'all think about? There's rumors out there right now that Tommy Reese, there was reports that he could potentially interview for the Patriots vacant offensive coordinator position, but the Browns they promoted him today. They gave him he's the offensive coordinator for the Browns now. So Tommy Reese is not an option now for the Patriots offensive coordinator position. You're looking at Josh McDaniels, Nick Caley from the Rams, Mike LaFleur. I think LaFleur's with the Titans, I believe. No, he's with the Rams. Mike LaFleur's with the Rams. It's a couple other guys. Pep Hamilton interviewed last week. Byron Leftwich. So you got some guys now. I know we all probably think, Josh McCown from Minnesota is an option. You got some guys now that's probably going like everybody most think is going to be Josh McDaniels. That's the consensus. Yeah, he not Jerry, but that's the consensus pick right now. Josh McDaniels. He's in the area. He's familiar. You don't got to worry about him getting a coaching gig nowhere. And just Drake may have just had to learn that scheme, the scheme and whatnot. And this is the same scheme that caused Mac Jones to have a pretty darn good rookie year for a quarterback. He was a run up for rookie of the year that year. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they get Drake May involved. I think it's gonna be Josh McDaniel. I think we probably all know it's gonna be Josh McDaniel. That's gonna be the offensive coordinator. And like I said from Vrabel, he's not gonna have to worry about him going nowhere in a year. Josh McDaniel's not getting another coaching job. He burnt that bridge with the Colts, the Broncos, and most recently with the Raiders. He will not be getting a coaching job in the near future. So you don't have to worry long term, Josh. He'd be good for Drake May because you don't got to worry about him going nowhere. You got to, because once you get one of these young guys, like let's just say Tommy Reese would have came. If he did good and Drake May look good up under him, he's gonna be gone in another year. He can get a head coaching job. So this coordinator position for the Patriots is very critical because Mike Vrabel is going to be more so the CEO of the team. He's going to oversee the offense, the defense, special teams, everything. So you better have a pretty darn good offensive coordinator. So, and like I said, they have to go through the Rooney Rule, the minority thing. They got to go through the search and things like that. But we all know it's probably going to be Josh McDaniels. Now you got to find out who's going to be hit the coordinators up under him. Is it going to be are they going to keep AVP? I wouldn't mind them keeping Alex Van Pelt because I think he did a pretty darn good job with Drake May. So I wouldn't mind them keeping AVP. Would that happen? I don't know. That's definitely in doubt. Who's going to be your run? I mean, I don't know if Ravens going to keep some of the guys or he's going to do like a clean sweep, get rid of a lot of people. Who knows? A lot of time when people come in, they like to bring in their own guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what Vrabel does. But I think bringing in Josh McDaniels to run the offense and be like that quarterback whisper for Drake May, I think it's going to be good. Because one thing we know about McDaniels, he's probably not the best head coach, probably not a good head coach, but he's a pretty darn good OC. He's a pretty darn good offensive coordinator. Really good at that. He can coordinate the offense. He can get you in. He's good at that. I know some people would like to say, well, that was a lot of Tom Brady's doing and things like that, but he can do that. So I think he would be a good fit for the offense and whatnot. It's the Earnhardt scheme or whatever they call it or whatnot. I think it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit. I mean, like I said, you don't have to worry about him leaving in the year because Drake may look good and the offense look good. You ain't got to worry about getting the job and then getting a third OC, nothing like that. Josh McDaniels is going to be there. Josh McDaniels is going to be there. You don't have to worry about that. So it's a good fit, man. I think Josh McDaniels was on a podcast, I think earlier this year with Julian Edelman's podcast. I can't think of the name of it. If y'all know it, please put it in the chat box. He was on a podcast and he spoke about Drake May. He had a lot of positive things to say about Drake May. And when we did have Josh McDaniels, look what he did the COVID year with Cam Newton. Getting those design runs. He was a lot. I remember that first game we played Miami with no fans in the stadium. But that was the Cam Newton coming out part. That was like the peak for us that year. That was the peak. That was a peak Cam Newton performance. Like quarterback design runs, quarterback, like he was doing a lot of things with RPO. He was doing a lot of things with the QB or whatnot. And we came out and surprised a lot of people that year. We beat the Miami Dolphins week one. I actually thought we could have beat Seattle, that Sunday night game. We could have won that game and whatnot. So Josh McDaniels' scheme, and then we can finally get to see Drake May runs. They didn't do that a lot this year, not like design and run, but Drake May escaped the pocket a lot. So that was more so on him. But those ones that design runs. We saw that a little bit the last couple weeks of the season, I think against who was it? Was it the Cardinals? The first Buffalo Bills game. We saw a few quarterback design runs for Drake May and whatnot. I think hopefully we can get to doing that with Drake May because he's a runner. He can run. He's good runner. He's good with the ball in his hand. So it's good. I can't wait to see how Josh McDaniel does with the athlete that Drake May is. I cannot wait to see how Drake May performs up under. Now, Mike Vrabel, I think he interviewed today. I think he was on WEI. I think so. Don't hold me to it. But he was up there. He said like off-season expectations in terms of personnel. He want to get better on offensive line, so he wants to address the offensive line, guard, tackle. You got to get the offensive line right. Then he said what he wants in a receiver is he wants them to be explosive, a bit catch radius, and be able to separate. That's what he does. That's what he said: explosive, able to separate, and a bit catch radius. So you look at some of the guys like a T. Higgins. I don't know if he's a big time separator. T. Higgins could get open. He has a big catch radius. Ted McMillan in the draft. You can look at Travis Hunter. Like I can see if Travis Hunter is there at 4, I can see Mike Vrabel snatching him up right there. I can see it. Now, will he be there? We don't know. But I like the fact that Mike Vrabel, like last year with Mayo, I felt like it was more corporate and professional talk, more so of like X and O's talk when Gerard Mayo did his opening press conference. I think with Vrabel here, comment right here on it, kind of sounds like Vrabel was describing T. Higgins. Agree, something like that. Yep, I agree. I felt like it feels like a breath of fresh air with Mike Vrabel in his press conference with him calling the shots because I can listen to Vrabel and I already knew what he was talking. I already knew I can see he knew what he's talking about just by listening to him. Just by listening to him. I'm talking about within the first few minutes he opened his mouth during that press conference yesterday with Robert Kraft with the owner or whatnot. I could say, okay, he knows what he wants. I could tell right away Mike Vrabel already knows what he wants in this Patriots team, what kind of offense he wants to be, what kind of team he wants to be. With Mayo, we didn't really get into that until like we didn't. They didn't. It didn't have like an identity. I never felt that Mayo was. I didn't. I never felt like Mayo knew what the identity was. You know, we didn't have a culture. We didn't have an identity. It was a message pass here. I think from day one we kind of know. Vrabel it just feels like we got it right this time. Vrabel feels like he knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants. He know like he already feels like that. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Yep. I'm excited. I think that I think we're in store for some. I want to see right now. It's personnel, front office. They getting things straight like that. You about to see a flurry of moves, quarterback coaches, running back like different coaches firing and hiring, interview things like that. I think we should have an OC but probably by next week. Probably Vrabel did say today it's probably going to be a little bit because he might be looking at some coaches that's in the playoffs right now. So he said it might take a little bit, but I don't think it'll be that long. I mean, you're not going to go on for it. You got to get your OC because the Senior Bowl's in a couple weeks, and you want to have a lot of that stuff. Like you want to know what kind of offense you're running, what kind of you want to know what's what by the time the Senior Bowl get here. So by like the next 2 weeks. And once you get your offense coordinator, you can start hiring your quarterback coaches, your running back coaches, your receiver coaches, defense coach. You get your staff. When the staff should be put in place by the time you get to the Senior Bowl in a couple of weeks. Senior Bowl is the last weekend of the month. A couple weeks staff should be in place for the most part. You got the combine of the month. So right now it's just like they're getting the staff done right now. Players won't be in the building until like March or April. So you won't really get too deep to personnel until like next month. If it's good to have a head coach speak and feel reassured, yeah, you could just Vrabel sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Like no offense to Mayo, but I felt like they were just putting things together on the fly with Mayo. Like, I felt like Mayo didn't know what was going on half the daggone time. Vrabel, like you could tell, like he's been there, he's done that, he knows what he wants, he knows what to expect. Like Vrabel knows what's going on. I just like he knows what he wants. You could just listen to him and tell. So this will be interesting to see, man. I can't wait to see how this thing play out, man. Like I said, I think we should have some news on the offensive coordinator probably by the end of the week or probably by next week. We should have an offensive coordinator, at least a bunch of interviews wrapped up. So Vrabel said it should be a couple. It might be a couple weeks. I don't think it'll be that long. Yeah, you gotta get the ball rolling because these teams right now that doesn't have head coaches or either fire the OC or something like that, they're trying to you gotta get most of them like you gotta get this stuff going now. You got your head coach. Now it's time to move on to coordinator position. Because the next hire is gonna be the most important hire is offensive coordinator. So really gonna be interesting to see. I think Josh McDaniels should be named. Like I said, I really feel it'd be Daniels, but I mean, who knows? Vrabel sounded like he had a plan. Yep, I mean he had all. He's been out of football for a year, out of coaching for over a year. He was with the Browns. I ain't gonna say he's been out of coaching. He wasn't a head coach. He was a consultant with the Browns. So I mean, you would like to think he knows what he wants and what he's had all this time to build his staff and whatnot. So we should see what happens soon, man. We should definitely see what happens soon. I cannot wait, man. Cannot wait. Also, this all season I got a lot of plans. I'm gonna have a bunch of got a special guest coming on next week. So I'll be keep y'all posted on that probably next week. I'm gonna try to have a guest come on at least about once a month. We got a lot of draft talk. We about to have some draft guests on. We're gonna do a lot of some draft talk. Probably next month sometime. I will be going to New Orleans for the Super Bowl this year. I got credentials for that. I'm going to the Super Bowl, meet up with some people, and do some things out there. do some content there. So y'all make sure y'all follow me along out there. I'm going to New Orleans for Super Bowl week. Be out there a few days. Um, I'm doing a lot of draft content this off season. Free, I'm getting a free agent like in March. I'm gonna start talking draft. Probably when I get back from New Orleans, like in February. I'm gonna start talking some draft, having some guests on, some scout, well, not scout, but like some draft experts, have some draft analysts on and whatnot. We do some mock drafts. And I'm working on setting up a call show so y'all can call in to the show sometime. So I got a lot of things planned, man. A lot of things planned, man. We're gonna be grinding this off season, man. But y'all gotta do y'all part too, man. Make sure y'all check me out every night during the week, man. I try to come on around about 7:30 every night during the week. Might have mentioned that, but Cleveland promoted Tom. Yep. They promoted Tommy Reese today. I think a lot of Pats fans are happy that they actually did it. I don't think a lot of people want it here. They surprisingly, guys want Josh McDaniels. A lot of people want Josh McDaniels, which is really surprising. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Because a lot of people do want Josh McDaniels. I think because with his familiarity, and he's going to be there. He's not going to go get a coaching job nowhere. So I think that's why a lot of people really want Josh McDaniels because he's not going nowhere. He's gonna be all yours. He's gonna be all yours, man. So that's gonna be good. I don't really know a lot about Tommy Reese, but I know they say he didn't really do a good job in Notre Dame. But I think he was at Alabama for a year, and Jalen Miro looked good. I think it was last year, not this past season, but season 4. He was pretty darn good there. This is his first year in Cleveland, but now he's gonna be the head dog. He'll be the offensive coordinator there. So we'll see. I think we play the Browns next year anyway. So we'll see a lot of Tommy Reese and the Cleveland Browns next year. I will be back live tomorrow night, man. So y'all make sure y'all check me out, man. So a lot of things going on, man. A lot of things going on. Like I said, I will be back live tomorrow night. Just want to hop on tonight for a little bit, get y'all update what's going on with the Patriots and whatnot. Talk a little bit of NFL's playoffs and whatnot. I'm gonna talk about the Browns and the Bills. Not the Browns, the Bills and the Ravens. I'm gonna break down some playoff matchups tomorrow. And your latest Patriots news too. So if anything breaks or whatnot, so I will be live tomorrow night at the same time. Hey, you already know what it is. Hit that like button, the thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, it's right. It don't take but a second. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you are sharing the content. If you're on Twitter, wherever you at, make sure you share the content. Make sure you are subscribed to the Kansas Patriots podcast, man. Please make sure you are subscribed. I remember yelling at the TV when McDaniels got in the red zone. Yeah. But yeah, make sure y'all are subscribed to the Kansas Pats Talk YouTube, man. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Appreciate it. Also, if y'all want to cash out, support the channel, my cash app is down there. You don't have to send anything. You can send a little, you can send a lot. It's what you don't have to say anything. But I really would appreciate it though if you wanted to, though. Only if you want to. But Kansas Pats Talk YouTube, make sure you subscribe. My IG is right there, Cans underscore Pat Stalk in the Twitter. Kendall Whitley, man, I'm on Twitter. It's Cans Pat Stalk, man. I'm also on TikTok now. So make sure you add me on, follow me on TikTok as well at Cans Pat Stalk, man. That's gonna be it for the night. I appreciate y'all. And if y'all gonna check me out later on, man, make sure you leave a comment and hit the like button. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.